All right. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's another episode for our podcast, Ball Jones podcast. I am Ball Jones. That is Nelson B. Haskins. And we are here today. What's up, man?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. What about you?
Man, working hard, man. Trying to keep it together.
That's kind of what life is about at this point. Just figuring out and keeping it together, man. So yeah, today's gonna be kind of a fairly serious episode. The topic is definitely serious, but we ain't gonna be like super weighty about it, or at least that's not the intention. But if you go there, go there. But whatever. Yeah, today we're gonna be talking about players' mental health. In the past 4 or 5 years, it kind of became more of a headline topic, more of a point of contact for a lot of people to talk about, and it's become more and more acceptable to talk about. But me personally, I never feel like people really attack it the way it should be attacked and talked about, or they go that direction, but they don't go deep enough. They kind of stay very shallow about it. And I don't know if it's the platform. I don't know if they don't have the opportunity. I don't know what it is, but they don't go deep enough into it, especially on the higher platform. So today, we're going to selfishly make that our point to, talk about it and go a little bit deeper. That's what this podcast is about. Let people go shallow with a lot of stuff and they don't go deep enough into it. So that's what we're going to do today. So to start off with, man, like, what is not necessarily your relationship, like personally, but what is like your mindset when it comes to, mental health, and like specifically when it comes to athletes or the pro players, or whatever? Like, what is that relationship for you when it comes to mental health?
For me, when I think about mental health, I really just think about, like, I don't know if this is a right or wrong way to think about it, but when I think about mental health, I really think of it as, like, how close are you to, like, breaking down, like, mentally? Like, that's kind of how I feel about it. Because, like, in life, not to get too serious, but like, I feel like every day, life is hard. Like, don't matter who you is. And, it's hard to be an athlete in his own way. So I look at it as if, like, the more mentally strong you are, the more things you can get to. And that's kind of what we prepare for. It's like, life ain't gonna, like, we hope life get easier over time, or easier than it is right now. And just hope that things get better. We always hoping, like, things get better. We work hard for things to be better. But you try to prepare for if things don't, or if things get worse, that you can handle it. And that's kind of what life is. And so that's kind of how I look at it. Like, especially being an athlete, it's like, we hope we win games. We hope, you hope you stay healthy. You hope you win games. You hope you like your teammates. You hope you work well together. You hope you like your coaches. Because, those are things you can't control. Like, who's on this team, who's coaching you. I guess in a way you control how many games you win, but you can't control how good the team is. You can only control how good you are or how good you get. So, you can't really control how many games you win. And, things like that. And those kind of weigh on your mental health. So, like, when you play a sport, your mental health is tied in deeply with that sport. If you care about it, let's say that. If you really care about it and love the sport that you play in the way I love basketball, your feelings tied into it. You can't even help it. So, like, we lose games, I'm upset. I don't want to talk. And, like, my assistant coach says this all the time. He said, if it don't hurt you, it don't mean nothing to you. Like, it should hurt you. It should hurt you to lose. It should hurt you to not perform to the best of your ability. It should hurt to, like, not do enough to win the game. Like, it's supposed to hurt, but the main thing about it, and this is something that basketball has taught me, that I take in life. You should never be too high and you should never be too low. You just need to be able to maintain. Like, you need to stay somewhere in the middle. When we win, or if we're winning, we going on a winning streak, whatever. Don't ever get too high, because somebody can always knock you off. And if you're losing or you're on a losing streak, Don't ever get too low because it's still gonna be another one. It's another game. You got to focus on the next one. That game, the games you lost, that last game we lost, them last 3 games we lost, them last 5 games we lost. That's over. Nothing we can do about it now. You know, take that on the chin and go into the next one and try to end the streak. And so that's the main thing. Just never get too high, never get too low. And that's how you want to be mentally in all things. Like when things get hard for you and whatever you do at your job, at your household, whatever you do in your daily life, don't ever get too low to where you start to feel like you're going to give up. Don't to feel like, oh man, there's nothing I can really do, or like you start feeling overwhelmed. Like, don't you got to learn to not let yourself get too low. And that's it took me some years to do that, really, because I used to get too low. Like I used to be bad about that. So that's kind of my relationship with it as far as sports goes, at least as far as being an athlete. Like, never get too high, never get too low. Like, it's supposed to hurt, but just don't let it kill you. Say that. It's supposed to hurt you, but don't let it kill you. That's the main thing.
Yeah. To kind of go back to the original point of what mental health, not necessarily relationship, but like kind of like the thought behind it. So I liken mental health just like it is for physical health. So I wouldn't say your definition is wrong. That's what, that's your conception of it. So for me, my conception is just like physical health. So everybody has both. Everybody has a brain and a mind and a mental. You have some level of mental health. Everybody has a body, so you have some level of physical health. And that relationship between you and what that is for you, what is, healthy or unhealthy, is no one certain thing or one certain point that is all across the board, black and white for everybody. And so it's really just about what makes the most sense for you. Because comparing you to your brother, your level of physical health has to be totally different from his. Because what you're expected to do with your body is totally different from what he's expected to do with his. He ain't expected to go out here and hoop and have double doubles every night and turn over down the floor, pretty much play the whole game or close to it. Like, the level of physical fitness for your body that you're expected to have is totally different. Just like for people's their mental health of what they're expected to do is different from person to person. We kind of talked about this before. I can't remember what we were talking about in the episode, but we was kind of saying, I think it was about responsibility, something like that. And I was kind of saying how, pressure. That's what we were talking about, the pressure.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember we was joking about like the pressure that I feel so different from what my dad feels. So I was like, something go wrong with the family or with the house. Ain't nobody looking at me for that pressure to be like, B, what we gonna do? What my dad say, bro? Like, I don't know. My dad said something? He didn't? Well, go see what he say, then come back to me, because I ain't got nothing for you right now, bro. Like, that's the man with that.
Right.
And so to stick with that picture, my dad's mental health, his situation, totally different from mine, because while he was raised and the area he was brought up in and we has to deal with, totally different from me in my area, what I'm growing, what I have to deal with. So it's different from person to person of what that relationship means and what you have to go to and what you're dealing with and everything. So that's why I say it's literally like, that's, a lot of people won't get this, but it's literally such a gray area. Like, I'm pretty sure like 80% of people don't get what I just said right there. It's kind of funny, but it's not funny, but it's funny. But that was kind of a nerd thing, but whatever. It's such a great. It's
Hey, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hear you.
But yeah, it's such a gray area thing that it's tough. That's why it's so tough to talk about, because you can't really. There's nothing you can say. No, there's nothing you can see to really just point to and be like, oh, okay, that's the issue. You know what I mean? Like, we can see, like, Klay Thompson hurt his ACL. Well, he's definitely not running the same. Something's wrong. Sometimes you can kind of see that somebody's not 100% mentally, but it's somewhat easier to hide it. So everybody's relationship with it is a little bit different, and that's kind of where part of the issue lies with mental health. But to kind of piggyback off your second point of it, to where with athletes specifically, learning how to do two things: learning how to have balance and learning how to compartmentalize everything is very important. Something I suck with, and so I can compartmentalize pretty good. My balance is pretty bad, but compartmentalize meaning what happens on the floor stays on the floor. That loss we had stays right there. That win we had stays right there. Learning how to separate yourself sometimes from that thing that happened, which is kind of hard to do when that's their livelihood or that's like a majority of your life. Like if you at this point, basketball, thing there is life for you. That's consuming a lot of your time.
Right.
And learning how to kind of separate yourself from that and have something. That's why I emphasize have something outside of basketball to do because you can't live and die by it 24/7. So compartmentalize and separate yourself from that. That's number one. And that ties into balance. So where balance is different for everybody. So for me, balance might be 60% basketball, 40% outside of it. For you, it might be 80% and 20%. You feel good doing that. But I think people have to figure out what makes sense for them to where they get that they even out to where it makes sense to where they're not going crazy. Like you said, not too high, too low. Basketball going this way, and then not going too high, too low. Basketball goes that way. You're able to stay even because you have a balance for you. So that's kind of where I see it working for people to where, yeah, it's a difficult thing, but like, can you find what works for you? So that's why I kind of feel like the whole mental health thing plays a role into it.
Yeah, I definitely hear that because like that reminds me kind of what Chris Paul was talking about the bubble and you know how
Mm.
hard it was to play in the bubble in 2020 and stuff. And he was saying, you know, usually in regular season or whatever, when you playing, you take the player hat off and you put
Mm-hmm.
dad hat on, like you dad when you get home and stuff. I remember you was talking about that. Like you
Yeah,
can leave, like you kind of can leave basketball at the door, come home to your family, play with your kids, and you know leave that stuff behind. And you know, yeah, it affects you, but you know, like you come home, your kids might not even know you had it. Like they know you had a game, but like they don't really care. Like they just know daddy
yeah,
home. That's how it is for them. And so like you kind of can leave basketball at the door, and in the bubble they couldn't really do that. So it was like they was a player all the time, 24/7. Like they with the team, they like at the arena, like at the whatever you know the facility, 24/7. Never going home, never going to their family. So well, I have an interesting story about this, like compartmentalizing things, because I'm not good with it neither. Like as far as basketball and stuff goes. So I'm pretty sure I mentioned this, if not on here, like not on the podcast. I'm pretty sure I'd have mentioned it to you before. But
mm-hmm.
my freshman year in JUCO, playing for Bevel State, and the Miguel Williams interview just dropped as we were recording it. It dropped a while ago, but uh, he mentioned it too, where we had lost the point guard, our starting point guard, Javon Duncan, right, like at Christmas break. He had toys, like he tore a couple things in his knee, like tore his knee up, whatever. So he was out for the rest of the season. And so then we had lost a couple guys to grades. So we really lost almost everybody that played point guard. And we had one legit point guard, and then like nobody else. Like everybody else, nobody else played that position for real. And like, you know, Javon was very valuable the way he played defense, outletted, you know, just played his role so well. And his absence kind of messed us up like badly. And then, you know, not even having like backups for the backup messed us up even more. So the rotation was just bad. But anyway, we come out of Christmas break without him. I think we won the first game, lost the second one, won the next one, and then we lost 8 straight games.
Mm.
Out for Christmas. 8 straight conference games at that. All of them conference games. Lost 8 straight. And man, I'll never forget. In the middle of the stretch of losing, right? And I'm playing my heart out because I'm playing a lot of minutes, you know, doing everything I can. Like with him being out and like his defensive presence gone, my defensive presence was kind of needed even more. And I'm playing a lot. I'm playing like a lot of minutes, 30 plus. And you know, I'm just a freshman. This is my first college season. I remember I had a girlfriend at the time, right? But She didn't go to the same school as I did. So, you know, we was on the phone and stuff every night or whatever. I was like, boy, in the stretch of losing these games, I'm not ashamed to tell you, I was the worst boyfriend. Like, the worst boyfriend ever. Like, she would say things or do something that might have been like a little annoying or like a little irritating, and I'm like mad. Like, I would get hot like quick. Like my patience was gone. Like I had very little patience, and like I would just get irritable very fast because of basketball though. Because I'm always tired, and on top of being tired, are we losing? And I feel like I'm playing my heart out. Like I'm trying my best to win, and we losing consistently. So that was just weighing on me so bad because it's like a mix of like emotions of like I'm not doing enough and I'm doing everything I can. So like it was like it's an internal struggle really when you in that stronghold of like I'm doing everything I can and I'm not doing enough. So that's just it's a bad feeling. And so man, I remember one day I told her, like I remember one day I said something to her, like I said something mean to her, something like that. I was like the same thing I said. And I told her later on in the day, I was like, hey, like I'm sorry about like how I've been recently. Like I apologize. Like from the bottom of my heart, I apologize. I know like lately I've been just like very like irritable and like very short with you. Like I'm sorry because like you don't deserve it and it ain't nothing you did. All that. Like I had to tell her because I was like I had to really look at myself like I don't know what I did or said. I know it wasn't like nothing like too crazy, but like I don't remember what I did or said. But I was like, bro, what am I doing? Like, why am I being so like mean? Like, why this not me? Like, she didn't deserve that, whatever it was. So now I'm looking at myself like I'm tripping. Like I had to check myself because nobody was gonna check me. And her being herself, she was like, "What? God bless her soul," because she never like came at me like on some I don't know who you talking to, or you lost your mind, or you need to show me some more respect. This and this and this. And she would have been completely within her rights to do that. Like to be real, she would have been completely within her rights. She never came at me that way because she knew. Because like I would come home every night at the games, like yeah, we lost again. like I'll come home and be like yeah, we lost. How you think you played? Like I did. Like I had this and this and this. But like we just ain't do this and we ain't do that. We ain't play no defense. This went wrong. This went wrong. Like she hearing me talk about the games every night, knowing we losing, and then like so she understand why I'm being like the way I am, why I'm not like myself. So she realized why I even realized it. And so when I had apologized to her, she said, "Yeah, I realize things not really going your way right now and stuff." But like sometimes you make me feel like I did something wrong, or like maybe I said the wrong thing, and I was like, no, like now I feel bad because I'm like, no, because you didn't do nothing wrong. You didn't do nothing wrong. It's just me. Like it's just like I'm sorry. I had to very like seriously apologize to her because I was tripping, but I wasn't like you said. Like it was like the compartmentalizing part of things. Like I could not leave basketball at the door. Like the losing and like the trying as hard as I was trying and the minutes I was playing and how tired I was, it just was so hard to deal with mentally to like take that home and then talk to her like everything okay because she like same thing with the kids like Chris Paul said you come home to your kids don't really they know you at a game but they just care like you at home. That's all they really care about. That's all she cared about. I come home and call her because she ain't talked to me in a while because we've been playing. So like she's just happy that I'm on the phone and I'll get on the phone and I'm mad because we just lost. I couldn't leave it where it was at. I couldn't leave that on the court and come home and like just be her boyfriend. And so I had to really like check myself. I realized it now that my mental health was not in the best place like at that point in time with the things that was going on. So it's just one of the things like you got to really find the balance. Like the balance is important because if you get too low, like I got too low in them moments to where I wasn't myself, and that's the main thing. I wasn't myself because I got too low in that moment, and so it's just something you kind of got to learn to deal with. And I'm better about that now. Like we was losing games last year and stuff that like, you know, you take a couple L's, you lose a couple tough ones. And I've really learned myself more. I know like, oh, okay, like I'm upset. It's best if I like just go to bed or whatever. Like I'll tell if I'm talking to somebody like the girl I'm with, whatever, anybody around me, I might tell them like, hey, you know, I don't really feel like talking. I think I'm just go to bed. Because it's better for me to just do that than talk to you or be around you and be like irritable and not myself or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, hey, you know, took a tough loss. You know, I think I'm just go to sleep. I'm gonna go to bed. I'll get up with you tomorrow. So that's kind of what I do now. So that's kind of how I handle it. Then I wake up tomorrow and I look at it like, all right, it's a fresh start. Let's like, you know, that's in the past. We got to move on. Got another game in a couple days. So
Yeah.
that's how I approach it now.
Wait, wait, hold on. Time out. Hold on real quick. I just got a quick question for you. All right, okay, look. So where did you go? Like, what are you going after right now in your life? Right? Are you looking to make the team? Okay, you didn't make the team, but you're looking to figure out how to make the team coming up. Or maybe you made the team, but you're on the bench, you're not playing like you want to. Or maybe you're playing a little bit like you want to, but you're not a starter, or you're not finishing the games like you want to. Or maybe you're the player, but you're just not quite where you want to be as far as recognizing your county or maybe your conference or your state, whatever you're trying to be recognized at. Um, Whatever your goal is, I want you to forget about that. Like put it put it on the board or something, write it down in your phone and just put it somewhere and tuck it away. I want you to take that goal, throw it over there, and now I want you to write a new one, right? I want you to write PROGRESS. Progress. I want you to make progress your goal. Okay? So take that big goal that you have now and take it, put it in your back pocket, and just figure out how to make progress and work towards that goal. Because sometimes we get so caught up on the goal of the end goal where we want to be that we don't keep working forward and working towards that goal like we should be. So every day I want you to wake up and figure out how to just make progress. How can I be better today than I was yesterday? It's new tomorrow. The same exact thing. Figure out how can I be better today than I was yesterday. It doesn't matter how good you are or what you did yesterday. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Your goal today is to make progress, be better than you was yesterday. And so if you need a reminder about that, all I want you to do is to have a reminder. I want you to go ahead and get one of these hoodies. Or you get you a t-shirt. I got a couple options for you. So get you a hoodie or a t-shirt just to remind yourself, just to keep it as a memento to be like, man, today's goal is to make progress. My only goal is to make progress. Progress is the only goal. So if that fits you and you feel like you need to make progress to be your goal, go ahead and hit the link in the description below and invest into yourself. Invest into that reminder. Treat it like an alarm clock to remind you that you need to make progress. Make sure that you're focused and being intentional about the work that you had today. So progress is the only goal. Hit the description below to invest into yourself. It's not about me. Investing into yourself to remind yourself that progress is my goal for today. So that's enough for me, man. I hope I didn't interrupt you. Get back to the episode. Um, I can relate to the whole girlfriend thing, bro. Cause not from the athlete side, but still from like the relationship side. I ain't finna make this a whole relationship thing. It's not from the direction let's go. But
Yeah.
I had a pocket where I was struggling with stuff, and it was more of a life thing. But even with that, you still have to learn to like even compartmentalize life problems when it comes to people around you and the people in your life, because it's not 100% fair to them that one thing affects every single thing now. So man, the girl I was with when I was in school, uh, bro, when I tell you, bro, I appreciate her so much, cause like just like you were saying, like she kind of understood what's going on and everything, and like she kind of like just work with you a little bit. When I tell you, bro, she was like a godsend, bro, helping me with everything I had going on, bro. Like she was like super patient and just understanding and stuff, and I was just like, what? Like, you know what I mean? It was just like it was like looking back at it, bro. That's exactly what I needed at that point. You feel me? Like
Right.
it was perfect timing, bro. Like I couldn't have planned that myself of like dealing with all that. You feel me? So like I will forever appreciate it. Like, bro, when I tell you, bro, like forever. Like she probably won't even fully understand or know, but like forever appreciate that, man. But
Man, it's something women good at, really, just being there for you in times like that, especially as a man when you get low. Like I said, we're not gonna go in a relationship direction with it, but so that's something women really like good at. Like you get low, a good woman to like be like the thing you need to bounce back. Like
Mm-hmm.
she can really help you like stay like she'll keep you up like because you be about to
Yeah.
fall over. But
Yeah, man. And that's just something I'm kind of like trying to recapture in a sense. You know what I mean? Like finding that help of not necessarily a girlfriend, but it's like a homegirl around that can just be like, "Yeah, I got you, bro. Like, I understand." And when you had that, it kind of throw you off. And so it's a needed balance, bro. Like what I'm telling you, bro. Like women are amazing. Oh man, bro. I could literally go on a whole rant and like be on a soapbox about how dope women are, man. But I'm not finna finna go back to mental health. But kind of like how you were saying with you weren't able to be aware of your own situation, but she was able to
mm-hmm.
see it before you were. It's kind of like that with mental health a lot for a lot of people. So it's sort of like the injury that you can't see and other people can't fully see what's going on too. So like if you're in a certain place and you're just kind of acting different or weird or strange, sometimes that's your mental health. And other people don't fully know or understand what's going on. And because of that, they just see Nelson acting different. But because she knows you and she's been around you, and because of your situation, oh, Nelson's losing games, that's why he's acting like this. But sometimes non-athlete people don't fully understand of what's going on because life seems great. You seem kind of like a pro player. So you're making so much money. You're on TV, you got endorsement, you got deals. Um, Kevin Love, you're an all-star. You're winning you games. You're in a championship. DeMar DeRozan, you're an all-star. You in the playoffs every year. You got this and that going on. But it's something else that you don't see or don't know about that I have the issue of dealing with. But an
Mm-hmm.
injury, you can see an injury, like a physical injury. You can see that to where somebody rolled the ankle. Ooh, that's odd. I'm sorry. How long you out? A month? I understand, brother. Get well. If somebody come with you, hey man, I ain't feeling myself, man, and say you don't even fully know what it is, but you're depressed or you got anxiety or whatever, and you can't fully understand or explain what's going on. People would just be like, you all right? Just shake it off. You're just like, I don't know, man. Something ain't exactly right, man. Like, so it's like you imagine you being hurt or your ankle hurt or your knee hurt, and doctor say you fine. Well, not exclude doctor, but coach be like, man, you all right, man. You like yourself. You all right. Teammates be like, man, Nelson, you straight, bro. What you doing, bro? Come hoop, man. Like, I don't know, man. My knee ain't, I don't know, bro. Like, it ain't quite there, man. The next thing you know, boom, knee gone. Y'all for the season. Like, yo, like,
Man,
everything in my knee tore up. Oh, man, that's tough. I think that's what mental health is to an extent, to where you kind of have little small sort of signs of where you're not yourself, you're not feeling right. You got there are a lot of symptoms that go on that people aren't fully aware of, but then it backs up when like we just kind of talked about before we recording, like it hits 9 or 10, and it's like oh he oh okay, now people pay attention and are fully aware of it. Now they got your back, but it's like bro, my knee was messed up for months and nobody knew. So that's
mm-hmm.
kind of how I see how mental health is to where um it's very difficult to spot and it's not as easy to talk about sometimes because sometimes you're not fully aware of what's going on to be able to express what's going on. So now if I'm messed up and I can't tell you how or why I'm messed up, you just look at me crazy because it's like, B, you're not yourself. Like, what's up, man? And it's just like, I don't really know, bro. So that's kind of the weird part of mental health that I feel like especially pro players, but just players in general have to deal with. And then you're expected to still perform on top of that. And I don't want to go that direction, um, but it's just weird to deal with. You know what I mean? So mental health is like an injury sometimes that you can't see or fully understand or be able to express because it's the unseen. It's the gray area. It's not black and white. It's like the gray area. It's the gray area of what's going on that people don't fully know or understand.
Facts. But that's life though. Life is not black and white. Life is gray. Like it's a very like it's different for everybody. And look, number one thing I'll point to, like not point to, but like how you said like mental health is the unseen. The only time we really see it is the drastic,
Mm-hmm.
like the end of the spectrum. Like it's bad. Like when I point to Isaiah Thomas's situation, not old Isaiah Thomas, but Boston Celtics, 2018, I want to say, or 2017, one of those years. Isaiah
Yeah.
Thomas and the Boston Celtics in the playoffs, and his sister passed away, and he on an MVP season, like he didn't win MVP, but he was in the MVP running that year. He hooping, and they in the playoffs. His sister passed away, and they like he got to play. And I remember seeing him on the sideline crying, and like before a playoff game on the sideline crying. His teammates like trying to console him. It's bad, and I'm like that. We think about it then. That's when
Mm-hmm.
we got to be like, I know he's going through a rough time. I know it's hard for him, and he got to play and this and this and this. We see that because it's the drastic end of the spectrum. It's like, oh, we
Mm-hmm.
know he's going through a hard time because we see it. But like in situations that's not like that bad, that is drastic as somebody passing away close to you, or sometimes it is. But some situations that's not as drastic as that, they're not crying on the sideline. They're not breaking down on the court. They're not like having to have somebody like console them right then and there in your face. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't see it. They kind of just like it's just kind of one of them things where they come in like, hey, it is what it is. I gotta try to play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's kind of, if we don't see it that bad, we don't think about it. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
kind of where the problem lies. It's like, man, guys don't really think about your mental health as a player until it's you down bad,
Mm-hmm.
until you lose somebody or something's really wrong. You it, you don't even think about it until then. And we said this before, but it was Gilbert Arenas, I think, that was like 9 times out of 10 when the players in a slump or like
Mm-hmm.
not playing well, it ain't got nothing to do with basketball.
Yep.
Like that's true. That's facts. It ain't got nothing to do with basketball. These guys pros, they know how to hoop. Like, yeah, you might have bad games here and there, but like when guys have slumps and like not playing well for a stretch at a time, 9 times out of 10, something ain't got nothing to do with basketball. Somebody's sick at home. Somebody ain't, things ain't going right at home. Things ain't going right off the court. Something's bothering them. Something's getting to them. So that's kind of how it is. We don't think about that. We just be like, oh, Steph ain't shooting well. Steph is shooting 30% the last couple games. That's what we see.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we see as the fans. But like we never really see the underlying factor of like what could be going on. What could be going on when he leaves the gym, when he get off the court, what's
Yeah.
happening. So That's the toughest part about it as when you're a player.
Yeah. I think I think that's kind of tough to really get into because now you're peering into somebody's personal life. You know what I mean? And that's where I kind of feel like like where do you draw the line on that? You know what I mean? Because like of course a bad game or two. All right, cool, you human. Like whatever. Like Steph Curry in the finals, bro. Superhuman game 1 through 4, I believe. Average at best, like Steph Curry average. I'm talking about human being average. Steph Curry average, like 20 points, 8 assists. It's not a good game for you, bro. Like it's average at best. Then you went back to
Yeah.
superhuman. Like, okay, that's basketball. That's how the game goes. Now, if Steph Curry had an entire bad series, the series lasts about 2 weeks, a week and a half. Now you looking at what's up with Steph? Like, because at some point basketball is put to the side. Cause like you said, you're down. It's bound to happen for you have a bad game or two. That's just the mathematics and science of basketball. In a 10 game stretch, you're gonna have 10 amazing games. In the next 10 game stretch, you're bound to have one or two of them bad games. It's just you average out at some point.
Mm.
But when it stretches out beyond a handful of games or something, it's beyond skill and preparation, even beyond you being tired or something like that, because that can kind of work itself out too. If you like say you out of shape or whatever, that can kind of work itself out too. But when it stretches out fairly long, it's like, what's going on? Like, I think it's tough sometimes because I don't know if he broke the news or somebody else broke the news about it, but let's say he never came out about that situation. There are a lot of players who, like, if I was Isaiah Thomas, nobody would know. I'd just be dealing with it, and it just be I would have had a terrible series. Like, just that's just anybody be like, oh, Isaiah Thomas, he choked, or he's not who we thought he was. He's not really MVP level. Bro, I just lost my sister, bro. Like, I'm not public about my issues, what I deal with. Say
Mm.
Kawhi Leonard went through a stretch. You don't know what he got going on. Nobody knows Kawhi Leonard for real, because he's not public. You feel me? So it's a lot
No.
of players who fit more of that category of I'm private about my life. Y'all see me on court, the little snippets y'all get of me walking around the city or whatever. That's all you get. So if I was in a situation, you wouldn't know what I got going on. And there's hundreds of players like that in the league to where you see me as a player, you see me sponsorships and stuff, you see a little bit tiny family, a little tiny bit of my family that I allow you to see. Outside of that, bro, you don't know me and what I got going on. You don't know my absolute highs and my absolute lows. So when you don't get that ability to see inside of what the X-ray into his life, what's going on, it's hard to really judge him and be like, what's going on? You know what I mean? And I think it's up to the player to allow how much of their personal life that people can get into. And
Yeah.
so it's like that's why sometimes I'm not a huge fan of being so critical on players, even if they have a bad game, bro. Like I understand there's a level of professionalism you have to come be ready prepared. I understand all that stuff. I get it. I'm big on myself doing that, but it gets to a point to where we're human beings. You feel me? I feel like sometimes the humanity is gone from celebrities and athletes and stuff specifically. And so it's like, where do you draw that line at between performance and professionalism versus personal life? Because that both of them bleed into each other. If, like you said, man, you losing 8 straight games, bro, that's bleeding into personal life. Like, I don't care who you are, bro. It's hard to compartmentalize. But you
Mm.
win 8 straight games, oh, wife happy, kids happy, everybody can be happy because Nelson good. Like, hey,
Everything
it's
good.
everything good. So how do you judge players now based off of that? Because like that's literally there's no black or white that at all. It's all gray. So how can we judge players now and have that conversation when all of that is like a gray area within itself? You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I've been
Yeah.
thinking about that for a while. Like Jordan, everybody talks about how Jordan had a situation with his dad. His dad, passed and everything. He still came out performed in the finals. Tiger Woods had a situation off the field, of course, or field, whatever it's called, and he still comes out and play. He lost his dad at some point, still came out to play. Kobe had a situation with Denver and everything. He still came out to play. So how do you can't judge play? Those are the goats of goats. Like we did our Mount Rushmore of sports and basketball, that stuff. They up there. But
Mm.
Isaiah Thomas isn't one of those guys. Kawhi Leonard, he's great. 75 player all time, all the stuff. But how do we sit back and judge those guys now when personal life is really the issue and not that? You know what I mean? It's a weird slippery slope for me. So I just like that's a hard question, bro. I really don't know.
I think the main thing, all we could do as fans, because it's like, we never know what anybody going through. And I think that's
Mm-hmm.
important to know as people. You never know what the person next to you going through. Like, even like me and B, like when we get off this court, we talk outside of this, but like only like what B tell me, I know. You know what I'm saying? So you
Mm-hmm.
never know what people are really going through. And so that's just important. So like I think the main thing is be kind to people, is what I'm trying to say. Like be kind to people because you don't know what they're going through. Like
Yep.
guys playing, they have a bad game. Cool, whatever. It's okay to say that. Yeah. Hey, Steph didn't have it tonight. Bron didn't have it tonight. Whatever. Whoever the player is, like, yeah, he didn't have it tonight. Have a couple bad games. Yeah, he's not been playing well. It's going. He in a little bit of a slump. He hasn't been playing well. Like, but I think the thing is, as fans, we'll jump. We so quick to, not we as in like everybody. Like it's but it's a general media that's so
Yeah.
quick to hop on Twitter, hop on the internet period, and just, yeah, so and so has been playing terrible lately. They should bench him. They need to lower his minutes. This and this and this. They should play so and so. He better. Like we so quick to do that. And you know, fans, especially in the wrong city, fans quick to, hey, he suck, get him out. Calling guys all types of nicknames. Pandemic P, West Brick, Lil Brick, stuff like that. Cupcake, KD, all
Yeah.
type of stuff. You know, we quick to like jump on players, like get on their head. We quick to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's therein lies the problem. Like when guys ain't doing the things we want them to do as athletes, we quick to get on that. We jump on
Mm-hmm.
it. And like, what's the limit? We not
Yeah.
kind to athletes or like really public figures in general. We not kind to them a lot of times when they not doing the things we want them to do or performing the way we want them to perform. And you know, I sympathize with that as a player because I remember Russ said a while back, he was like, I don't want to bring my kids to the games because they got to hear fans calling their daddy Westbrick. Like, why would I bring my family here if that's how
Mm-hmm.
they treat their daddy? You know? And
Yeah.
I felt that because it's like, yeah, like I ain't never been a big Russ fan, but like he don't deserve that. He
Mm-hmm.
don't deserve to have his kids hearing that. So that's the thing, man. You never know what anybody going through. Not just players, not just basketball players and football players, whatever. People in general, the people at your job, the people on the bus with you, the people that go to school with you, anything. You don't know what people going through. So just be kind to people because, like, you being kind to them might be the only nice thing happen to them. You don't even know. So just be kind to people. You don't know what people going through behind closed doors. So that's the main thing. So when we look at sports, like just be kind to those athletes. It's okay to state facts. He had a bad game.
Yeah.
Had a couple bad games. He's in a slump. It's okay to state facts. It's when we jump on people's head that's the problem. Like
Yeah.
calling guys' names, calling them outside their name, anything outside their name, really. Like, you know, giving them all these type of narratives.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we mess up at, I feel like.
Man, that's pretty on point because I feel like it's I kind of said this on the media podcast we had or episode we had, but I'm gonna flip it just a little bit. So when it comes to fans, sometimes it's not a race to be right; it's a race to be the loudest. I don't care
Mm,
what I say; I want to be loud and get attention. So I'm gonna say the most wildest, outlandish thing possible, to where I just want Katie to see. I'm really a fan of Katie, but I'm gonna call him Cupcake and a Snake. Or I'm gonna say he sucks, whatever, just so I can get a reply. Like that's sick, bro. Like why can't you just respect them? I understand that doesn't get the most attention and praise. I understand that, but why? Like what is going on that you have to have that? Like why is that your high? You feel me? So it's just weird. But like you said, that's why I do respect Stephen A. Sometimes he's pretty good at being objective to where when we're talking basketball, like the whole thing with him and Westbrook, I'm talking basketball, bro. You're not performing. That's what I'm talking about. You're talking
mm,
about off the court legacy, the bigger picture. I'm talking about this last game, this last 4 games, the last 10 games, this season. You're not performing. You're Mr. Triple Double, MVP, this, that, and the third. We're not seeing that on the court. That's what I'm talking about. I can respect Stephen. He's one of the few guys to keep it objective and keep it basketball with some people. I'm not gonna
mm,
go down that rabbit hole, but he's pretty good with some people keeping it pretty objective. But I feel like other people cross that line and have a personal. It get personal. That's my thing. It gets personal to where
mm-hmm,
I'm calling this person out on a daily basis. I'm calling this person out. It has nothing to do with like we talked about before with haters. We're not talking about basketball here. I'm talking about you. That's two different conversations. I don't like Nelson versus I don't like Nelson the Hooper. Or I don't like how he plays. Two different conversations. You don't like me as a podcaster, but you don't know me as a man. You don't might not like me as a trainer, but you don't know me as a man. That's two different conversations we can have. Because I was thinking about this one time, bro. Business me and personal me are almost two completely different people, bro. Like
man.
it's funny, bro. Like the way I show up on here is it's me. Don't get me wrong, it is me. But actually, it's like if you saw me in real life, you probably get a glimpse of this, but it's a whole other part of me that people just, I'm just chilling, bro. Like I'm different, but
Facts. I'm the
people,
same way in basketball. You got to be that way sometimes, though.
yeah, it's got to, man, because nobody want. If I was like Brian on this podcast, nobody be listening to us, bro. They be listening to you. I'll be sitting here listening.
Me talking, you just like, yeah.
Yep. Oh, word. All right.
Facts.
No 2 cents here and there, bro. But I have to, not necessarily put the character on, but this is the part of me that I have to show. You feel me?
Mm,
So people have to learn that Steph Curry, the basketball player, is not always Steph Curry, the man. You know, a
mm,
lot of guys like Westbrook is probably a perfect example. Just because he's this way on the court, does not mean he's like that in his personal life. When he puts the jersey off and puts some regular clothes, so he got a whole clothing brand. When he puts his clothing brand on, that's two different people. I've heard Westbrook is a human being, a real chill dude, real cool, like he likes to joke and laugh. So
mm,
you can't always compare them to people all the time. And kind of going with what you were saying earlier about just being kind and being nice. Like I'm big on that, man. Like a lot of people say I probably joke and play too much sometimes, but like I figure out how to I'll joke with you and try to make you laugh or something like that because, like you said, that might be the only laugh you get that day, bro. I don't know what you're going through. I have no clue. But I can say something a little goofy or silly or hit with you or something like just to mess with you and just like make sure you're good. I feel good because, like you said, that might be the only laugh you got that day. I don't know what you got going on at home, what's going on at school, what's going on at work with, because folks my age in school like that, but with work, whatever, man. It's a lot of stuff going on. So uh, sometimes I intentionally seek out to like say something stupid or goofy sometimes to make sure people laugh because you're a human being at the end of the day. And I feel like people forget that about athletes and, like you said, celebrities and public figures and stuff. They dehumanize that whole category of people because one, they're so distant. I don't care how close social media makes it seem, they're still so distant in lifestyle and the attention. Like, I got 2 followers and you got 2 million. We're not the same. Like, that's two different things. And so sometimes I don't even see you as a human being. I see you as a figure for this thing sometimes. And so when it comes to fans, not fans, but players specifically, I think we go 2K mode on players sometimes to where whatever happened before is irrelevant. I'm talking about right now in this game. I don't care that you hurt. I don't care what happened off the court. I don't care about this. I don't care about that. I kind of like going into the whole betting thing. Why I'm not a biggest fan of that. I put money on this game, bro, and you're not performing. I had money that you're gonna score 20 points. You didn't score. What's up? I don't care that your foot hurt. Man, go. I need 20, bro. That's my money on the line. Like,
I don't
it,
care you.
I don't care. Your knee hurt. Why you want to get hurt this game, man? Dang, bro. Like, out of all the
Just gotta
games to get
be.
hurt, you want to get hurt. Like, what? You think I chose this life? Like, I'm gonna get hurt intentionally. Game 18, the one that you bet money on. You sound like a clown, bro, man. Like, come on, man. But I get it, but it's still stupid. But that's the issue that kind of goes on with little players sometimes because you feel like 2K, your foot was hurt. Okay, let me just reset the game and you'll be back to normal. That ain't real life, man. Like, you can simulate injuries and stuff and you just skip through or whatever. That's not real life. My foot actually hurts, bro. Like, I cannot walk when I'm at home. Off the court, I got a whole life to still deal with. So I feel like that's the issue, man. We dehumanize the athletes into celebrity figures to where they're not allowed to have a human life and a human experience because we don't see them as a human being. We see them as LeBron James, Steph Curry, KD, the great basketball players, the great celebrity, the wealthy guys, the whoever. And so we take the human part off of it to where, oh, they got money, they should be straight. No, bro, they're human being before all of that. And so we have to be more mindful of that. And like you said, just be kind to them, bro. Like, I understand you play bad. Be objective. That was a bad game, man. But as the man, I respect you. You know, hope you have a good time. Whatever. Hey, that'd be hilarious, bro. Somebody like legit.
Rush, you had a bad game, but I love you and I respect you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
That's all. That's the tweet you tagging Russell Westbrook. Westbrook, you played terrible. I don't think you made a shot that didn't hit the rim. I think it was air balls and backboard. But hope you have a great day. Hope your wife kisses you today. You have a lovely evening with your
Oh.
kids.
End it with
hugs and
shalom.
hugs and kisses. Your favorite fan. Shalom.
Shalom. That's the one, but hey, I love you. Hey, what's that Kendrick Lamar song that ended like that? I love you, family. I can't wait to see you. Shalom.
That's somebody tweet, bro. I'm telling you.
Oh my god,
That's the
that's
whole.
funny.
You scroll through the whole account. That's all you see. Man, I do not like how Rajon Rondo played this game. He had so many turnovers and this, and that. But I hope you have a great day, Rondo. I hope you go home and spend some time with your kids and you get a nice warm hug that makes your day brighter. Shalom, my brother.
Shalom, my brother.
All you see is tags of Chris Paul, John Morant,
It's just every
Bryant,
player.
every player, bro, every game. He's like, bro, what is?
That's crazy, but we might need to start. I might make me a burner. Just do that. Every tweet just to start with the tag of a player. Every bad game they had.
Yep.
No positive games. No, nothing about a good game. I'm gonna end
Nope.
the message positively though.
Yep. Like, man, that was a terrible game. You went. We had an offer, but you're a winner in life. You know that, man. Like you're doing successful in life, man. I hope you have a great day. Hope you make some money off the court because you didn't earn your money today on the court. Like, bro, are you complimenting me or you like, what are we doing?
What's happening?
I don't know how to take this tweet, man, but whatever.
But man, so that's really how it is, man. Like guys, like don't think about the human side of the athlete. They kind of they separate the two. They kind of dehumanize them. And so, not to get into the heavy stuff, but you know, I was in a unique position this past season when I lost a teammate. So I lost a teammate. For those who don't know, he passed away in a tragic car accident on Christmas Eve, and so it was tough, definitely. Probably one like maybe the toughest thing I ever went through in my life, because at the time that it happened, you know, we had played our last game. I want to say December 10th. No, it had to be later than that. Either way, we played our last game before the Christmas break. We won. We beat the number 10 team in the nation in Augusta State. Beat them. And we riding high. You know, we feeling good. We beat this big, we know this really good team, all that stuff. Me and him and a couple of my other teammates, we all went out to eat right after. Everything. Had a good time. And, you know, great, like, living. You know how it is when you win. Go out, celebrate. And then I went home for Christmas break the next day. So that was the last time I saw him. And, you know, we got the news on Christmas Eve. And our coaches got on the Zoom with us and told us what happened. And it was one of them things that you just couldn't believe. Like, no way, this is real life. You know, it just didn't seem real. But, you know, the hardest part about it is when we came back. Because, you know, I'm at home right now, so I'm kind of away from the situation. Like, I know what happened, but, like, you know, it just ain't hit me yet. But then we come back, and he really not there. And it's like every day for a while, I feel like somebody missed. Every day. We came together that first day, and we had, like, a whole, like, team meeting. They brought people in, talked to us, all that. Very emotional, whatever. And it just was tough. And you know, we had to, you know, we had to get back to practicing because, you know, season goes on. But like I said, every day for a while, I feel like somebody was missing. It's like, man, what? Like it's like this big personality was gone from the team. And so I remember that first game we played back from Christmas. The first game we played was against Flagler, another good team in our conference, the team that actually won the championship the year before. So it was a good team. They was our first matchup after coming back from Christmas. So it was our first game without them. And I remember Flagler was very, you know, sympathetic with us. They gave us these shirts that had his number on it and stuff. Like they wore them for warm-ups and stuff. And then they gave them to us. Very nice gesture, everything. Like all of it was so nice. It was very, you know, emotional. But I remember that game like it was yesterday. One of the strangest games I've ever played. Like, I don't think there's another way to describe it. It was one of the strangest games I've ever played because it was like for a while in the game, it was like we was just playing. Like there was no rhyme or reason. It was like we was just going. Both teams, like it's weird because it was like both teams were doing it. It was like we was both kind of like I don't even know how to describe it. We just was going. Like no plays, no nothing. Like we just was running up and down, up and down, up and down. And then like we kind of got it. Like we got to like the first media or whatever media timeout, and like the game kind of calmed down for us. Like, but you could kind of look around at guys and see like, you know how you can look at a guy that's hooping and like his eyes are big and it's like you could tell like he not really like locked in like
Mm-hmm.
but that was all of us. All of us was like that. And so that first media kind of got us calmed down because coach even said like, everybody, he's like, guys, calm down. We playing too fast. This and this and this. Let's settle down. Whatever. It was a strange feeling. But the rest of that season, it took a while to kind of not even fully get over it. Like I don't even want to say get over it. Like it took a while to like get back to like business. Like playing without him and like him not being there and getting used to it. It took a long time. And like that was one of the harder things I've ever had to deal with as a player. And people around us were sympathetic and stuff, you know. They said a lot of stuff about it. Like, hey man, I'm sorry, I heard what happened, this and this and this. You know how it is, but it's one of them things. Like, man, you get out there, you still got to play. You still got to
Mm-hmm.
play. And so I was very proud of our team for the way what we still accomplished without him, and like and the adversity that we went through, because we still end up winning 20 games. My coach said it best. He said, "Y'all, I'm proud of y'all because y'all end up winning 20 games, making the playoffs, making it again, and messed around and got an at-large bid for the NCAA tournament. Y'all won 20 games, but y'all very easily could have been y'all were 20 and 10, but y'all very easily could have been 10 and 20 or
Mm-hmm.
12 and 18. Like y'all, I mean, or yeah, y'all very easily could have slipped and went the opposite direction, but y'all came together and y'all kept going and y'all kept pushing and y'all accomplished something. And so, it was one of those things like it's hard, but like this is something we're gonna do for him. And so that kept me pushing. That kept me going like, nah, like it's hard, but he wouldn't want us to be, sad. He wouldn't want us to slip and let the season be a waste. Like he would want us to accomplish something. So I'm glad we got to do that for him. But basketball and my like friends around me and family that could take my mind off of things, and having a team with me that we was all going through the same thing, that made it easier. But like we all fought our own individual battles and everything. So I know what it's like to be going through something and still have to play, still be expected to perform, not just play but perform, which is two different
Yeah.
things. So it's hard, man. It's hard. You never really know until you're in that situation, but it's hard, and you just kind of find your way of not getting too low. Like I said at the beginning, that's the main thing you can say. And talk to people. We as a team talk many times. Talk to each other as a group, like individually. You can talk, you pull guys to the side, like like this guy, like him and Ant very close. I'm gonna talk to him, make sure he good regularly. Like, cause some guys closer with him than others, but like we all in it together, and that made it a little easier. So,
Mm-hmm.
my advice to people or athletes, let me speak to athletes in general. When things are going on in your life between you and your family, whether it be your family, losing a loved one, things ain't going right off the court in any kind of way or aspect, I would suggest you speak to somebody. And I ain't saying you got to go to a therapist. I would not. I mean, I ain't saying don't, because that's a very helpful way of dealing with things also. But you ain't got to do that. At least have you a friend, a girlfriend, your mother, your father, brother, sister. Have you somebody you can talk to. And I know it's hard sometimes to talk about things that bother us or that really like make us sad or mad or like
Mm-hmm.
or really bothering us like internally. But have you at least one person in this world you can do that with, even if it does mean you get a therapist or something of that nature. Find you somebody. Like I promise you, it'll help you, because it helped me knowing that I had teammates going through this and I could talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
And like at the end of the day, if we cry, we both in here crying, we crying together. That made it easier because it's like my brother right next to me, he crying too, and like
Mm.
there's something like comforting in that fact. Like, yeah, like it's sad and I'm crying, but hey, he crying right next to me. We in it
Yeah.
together. We gonna get through it together. So have you somebody that'll cry next to you is my advice. You know, talk to somebody, have a friend next to you. It'll make it easier for you because if you're an athlete, games ain't gonna stop coming. There's still gonna be games. There's still gonna be practices. All that. So you gotta, it's one of the things you gotta just be ready for. You gotta, prepare for the next one. But that is something that'll definitely help you. Pray about it, talk to somebody about it, and you'll never get too low. So that'd be my advice to athletes out there listening to this. That if you that'll be going through something because you're gonna go through something. That's my advice to y'all.
So mental toughness is one of the biggest things that I know pretty much every coach preaches to the players, and also one of the biggest factors in the players' game is the mental toughness. So I know that a lot of coaches wish their players would be mentally tougher, and they struggle with teaching them and understanding, what mental toughness is to apply it to the game. So to help you guys out, I wrote a whole ebook breaking down what mental toughness is, different factors that make up what mental toughness is, and different ways that you can apply it to your life and your game, because it's a good blend of the player and the person of how both sides of you can grow in your mental toughness. So I broke it down in an ebook, the Mental Toughness Playbook. The whole ebook is about 50 pages, a little less than 50 pages, easy to read, a simple breakdown of what mental toughness is, different factors and different areas in it that impact your mental toughness, and how you can grow and develop in there. So if you're interested in it, it's in the description below. So go ahead and look in the hit that link and invest into yourself by investing into your mindset and mental toughness. Because I personally believe that your brain and your mind is so much powerful than you give it credit. So invest into your mindset, and then your body will follow afterwards. So the Mental Toughness Playbook, get the ebook below. If you tune into it, thank you. I appreciate it. If not, it's fine. Get back to the rest of the episode. See you later. Yeah, I co-sign that, bro. Cause I'm really I'm not an athlete, obviously, but within my life, I'm literally like just now this year really starting to like emphasize and like being more intentional about who I have around. Like first off, being more inclusive and being more in the right circles and being more in the right groups, having the right people around me. But also too, like having partnerships and getting in groups and stuff, because I'm kind of a loner. I'm kind of a distant person to my own extent. And me personally, I don't, like I said before, if I was in Isaiah Thomas situation, wouldn't nobody know what I'm dealing with. And I kind of close off and shut down sometimes when sometimes it's not intentional, and that's just how I am. Like I'm an introvert, so I'm just kind of like to myself. And I'm learning the power of opening up and talking through things, because um not just on a negative sense, but like sometimes I have an idea about stuff and I think it's a 10. Oh, that's a dope idea. Oh, that's amazing. But I've learned, like I got two people I always shoot stuff to. Like one guy, he helps like add so much more color and make it bigger and better. I'm like, dang, that's now compared to what he had me thinking, I'm like, dang, I had a 6. He made it to a 10. Like, dang, bro. Then I got my brother I always throw stuff to. He helped me like put more logic and like concrete facts to it, make sure I'm like practical about the idea. Like, dang, that was a 5 idea, but he pushed it to a 10 because he helped me like figure out how to execute and how to like real lock in on it. And so uh the power of having right people around you and stuff, like this podcast is a partnership, because uh I didn't want to I didn't want to go through that burden of trying to figure this out and do everything alone. You know what I mean? So I had to have somebody to bounce off with, because I didn't know a whole lot about podcasting. I could have figured out, I could have done it, and I don't know what the outcome would have been. Like I'm a person like I'll get it done or I get it done. It doesn't matter. It don't phase me. But I know it's a better product because the level of value that you bring to it. And so to kind of get back on topic now, it's like to like you said, to have community around you and people around you that can understand and empathize or sympathize with what you're going through means a lot. Even like you said, it's not something as far, not necessarily drastic, but to the extent of a therapist, but having a homegirl around you, like we talked about earlier, the power of women, having the right woman around you, a homegirl or a girlfriend, a mom or a sister, that you can just be like, man, this is what I got going on. Uh, Having teammates that you can open up to, having a homeboy that you can, hey, bro, this what's going on. Because 9 times out of 10, there's a good chance somebody else has gone through that, or is going through that, or just maybe to understand and sympathize with you. Like, man, I feel you, I understand. Sometimes that's all you need. So I'm really realizing like the power of community and like the people that you have around you, and try to lean into that, because like the issue, a lot of stuff is that we, especially as men, especially as black men, we deal with all this stuff alone.
Mm.
And so that's just a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother episode for real, for real. But yeah, just make sure you can figure out somebody to have around you that you can lean into and rely on, because that's not something that you want to deal with all alone all the time. There are pockets where you have to deal with stuff on your own, but you don't want to make that a 24/7 thing. So yeah, I got to co-sign what you said, man.
Appreciate that, brother. It's just carrying the weight alone, like carrying. Let me put it to you like this: carrying too much weight alone can crush you. But
Hmm.
if you got somebody to help you carry, you're gonna be all right. So I just encourage y'all to have you somebody that you can help carry that weight with, and that's just it, man. Like I've been a player. I've been going through things. I done lost family members. I didn't, like I said, I lost a teammate this past season. At a year in JUCO, my grandfather got sick, and my auntie messed around and told me right before the game. And then we played the game. We won. I kind of performed all right, but I was thinking about it. Then my dad had called me after the game and told me, and he told me about my grandfather. He said, I ain't want to tell you before the game because I ain't want to, throw you off. I knew you had a game today. He know my auntie had already told me. My auntie already spilled the beans. So, I've been through some things as a player, but you know, it helps. Like I said, it helps to talk about those things. That conversation my daddy did help me though, like because he was telling me, he's like, yeah, things gonna be okay. We don't think nothing serious is gonna happen. We just want to let you know, he not the best right now. This and this and this. So I don't want you to be too worried. And that put my mind at ease hearing that part. So that helped me still. So like I said, man, have you somebody you can talk to, whoever it may be. Don't be scared to talk to somebody. Just have you somebody in your corner. Somebody in your corner is like it cannot be underestimated. The
Hmm.
power of that cannot be underestimated. So just have you somebody, man. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
But is there anything else you want to touch on, my boy?
Um, Man, it's a lot of directions we can go or could go. Um, the one thing I will say that I think about right now, man, we are at the best of times and at the worst of times when it comes to mental health. Um, Especially when we talk about like celebrity and public figures, because
Mm-hmm.
this is as open and as acceptable even just having a conversation, like for us to have this conversation right now, we haven't even talked about really getting any steps done, but just have the conversation about it and around it is acceptable now. Like that's we like even like in the door. We like just in the garage, like in the garage, like in the driveway when it comes to the conversation about mental health. Like we just got on a property. Like that's the farthest we've come when it comes to that. So like we just now accepting this level of that. We having a conversation around it and it's more acceptable. Um and this is the highest point that we've been at this time when it comes to that. But I say it's the worst of times too, because uh, for the average person or the average athlete, social media is everywhere, and so uh, it's a saying that thief is the comparison is the thief of joy.
There you go.
So when you feel like you're not doing enough or you're not good enough, that's coming from social media a lot of times, or you feel like Man, I'm playing on doing pretty well, but I ain't ranked this high, or I ain't ranked that high, or this player over there is doing that. You know what I mean? And when it comes to the high level athletes, it's the worst of times for them because this is the most open access that we've had to celebrities at all time. It's like
Mm-hmm.
kind of the conversation we had earlier, to where expectations and what we want from these players are that hasn't changed since the beginning of sports. Like, we still expect players to be great. It's never going to change. But now we get to see more of your personal life too, and we're holding to this high pedestal. I think the pedestal of being a public figure is higher, but that's not as good. You know what I mean? Because you still have to deal with personal life too. Like, before, you were able to be like, I'm celebrity and now I'm human. I'm celebrity and now I'm dad. I'm celebrity and I'm mom. And now you 24/7 camera in your face, 24/7 have to be LeBron James. Like, there's this video of him at Summer League, bro, that just really, it bothered me, man. Like, he was literally just sitting baseline courtside. Him, Rich Paul, and Damon Jones. They just chilling watching the game, bro. So what we see, like, bro, it messed my mind up, bro. What we see on TV is just like we see LeBron, like, camera, like, it's like, all right, cool, LeBron James. Somebody was behind him and recorded that junk. He had at least 10 people in front of him with like video phones and like camera, actual like TV cameras, so just all around him. He just like I don't even think he could see the game, or like the woman at that point. He just like sit up just like this. He had to act like it was normal, bro. Like, that messed my mind up, to be like, bro, this man can't even like enjoy the summer league game and like not be LeBron James for like 2 hours. You know what I mean? That kind of bothered me. Like, somebody
Yeah.
came and dapped him up. That's probably the most human he had from that experience right there. But just like, he been dealing with that for since 16. Like, that just bothered me, man. Like, this man can't even go to a summer league game, take this hat off of being the public figure LeBron James, and just like be a fan for a second. You know what I mean? That's just weird. And um, it's just weird to me, man. Because I never thought that it was so many. I thought it was like maybe two or three cameras sitting right there. It's kind of like ESPN, this local paper, and maybe somebody else. All right, cool. No, bro, this dude had at least 10 people around him. I'm just like, it makes my mind up seeing that jump, bro. So it's the
Yeah.
best of times and worst of times when it comes to mental health, bro. Because uh, you got the social media slandering of Cupcake and Pandemic P and all this other stuff going on, and athletes. I'm not ranked yet. I ain't got so many scholarships yet. I ain't got all these things yet because I'm glued to this phone. But on the flip end of it, I can live on YouTube University or Google University and figure out how to cope and deal with stuff. It's more acceptable to talk about it if somebody came out and had the conversation now, like DeMar DeRozan did and Kevin Love did. You get so much more love than you would hate, and just be like, you soft or you weak because you talk about mental health or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sitting here mad at anybody if they don't open up about it, because I understand, bro. It's not the easiest thing to just talk about your mental health situation, because everybody's upbringing and the situation that they're dealing with is different. So I'm not mad if somebody doesn't come out public about it. I don't mind if somebody does. I'm not saying you have to. You feel me? It's just like whatever you feel like works for you works for you. So I think about that sometimes, man. Well, we're at the best of times and the worst of times when it comes to mental health and pretty much a lot of stuff in life, man. Because this is the most acceptable we've had this conversation, but on the other end of it, this is the most it's probably the most damaging part of our mental health too, man. So we just, like you said before, just make sure you're intentionally being kind to people and just making sure you treat people right, man, because you never fully know or what people dealing with, they got going on, and try to be respectful of another human being, because at the end of the day, that's what we all are. We're just another human trying to do the best we can, man. So show love, bro. It all comes down to just showing love, man, because you never know. But
Thanks.
yeah.
Man, man, let that be something y'all take away from the podcast, man. Like, please, if you ain't hear nothing else we said, just be kind to other people, man. Show love to other people. I take that with me, man. I show love because like I never know what that person dealing with, and I always want people to look at me like okay, he always been nice to me. He has always been, a friendly face to me. I try to show that to people, even if I don't always feel like it. And like people don't be knowing that I'm going through something a lot of times because I like even when I'm going through something, I don't want to let that be projected onto other people.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I couldn't help it. Like I said, earlier with the games and stuff, like, it got to be a lot to me, so I couldn't help it at certain points. But like if I can handle it, and 9 times out of 10 I can, or I hope I can at least. I'm handling it to the best of my ability. Let me say that. I don't want to project that on other people. So even when I'm going through something, I'm gonna show love to that person, to the person next to me, the people that come into contact with me, so they know, like, hey, yeah, I'm going through something, but you might be going through something. We good, you know. And so that's all it is, man. So I hope y'all take that with y'all, man. Like, be kind to other people, be kind to public figures, be kind to athletes. Like, be kind to that guy that even though he might not have won you that money, he didn't get over 30. Like, he didn't get over 8 or 6. He didn't, I understand. I understand. But still, man, that's a person. That's a human. I just, just show love, man, the best you can. And that's about all I got to say on it, man. Like, I'm the player. You talking to a guy that work with players, that coach players, that train players. So if we can agree on this, like, please take our word for it. I promise you. But that's really all I got to say, man. Uh, anything else you want to throw out there before we get out of here, man? We might do
I'm,
another episode on like coping, or like that could be a whole other
yeah,
episode in itself. Like how I cope with things, how you cope with things, what we tell other players. That might need to be a whole another episode in itself.
man. It's my mind. My mind. This is my pocket. What I do, bro. So it's just I'm trying to I'm trying to
Uh,
like not go too long on stuff and trying to condense it and keep it on target what we're trying to go to. Um, cause you say something, my mind go here. You say something else, my mind go there. So, uh, I'll just finish on that, man. Just walk in
it
love and
sounds like a
respect,
part
man.
two to me.
Yeah, it might have to be, bro. Cause we can go pro, we can go us, we can go. Man, it's so many different levels we can go, man. But
Kids,
um,
everything.
my mind flipped to all the different stuff, like how players. I don't think parents understand how players got to deal with stuff like the mental health of like young, like youth, like high school and lower. Like I think about this stuff on a daily, bro, man. So we have to do
Man.
like a part two. Knowing me, it could really be like a part five. Like we can go that long into it, but that's my mind. But we gonna
Man.
end this right here. Um, I'll just say, man, always show love and respect, man, because you never fully know, man. And the worst case scenario, man, just I don't even want to say treat people the way they want to. You want to do. Don't treat people the way you want to be treated. Treat people the way that they want to be treated, and at the same time, how God wants us to treat them. Because sometimes we get out of line with just because I want to be treated a certain way doesn't mean I should be treated that way. You feel me? Like
Mm-hmm.
that sounds weird. It's kind of against what a lot of people say, but like I'm trying. I ain't finna preach nothing like that. That ain't my pocket. But open the Bible a little bit and see what God to say about love. You know what I mean? Because honestly, bro, like I try to love people how God loves us. You know what I mean? Like, um, that's honestly what I try to do, man. I try to be as understanding as I can, as forgiving as I can, like be as patient as I can. But at the same time, I'm human. I got my pressure points where it's just like, yo, I'm finna snap and go off because like you had your pocket where like, man, we lost 8 straight games. My patience ain't the same right now. I'm finna just spaz out in a minute. But I feel like I'm very understanding and I'm pretty patient and all that stuff, man. So um, just try to extend that out to other people because you never fully know, man. Like I promise you, you never know, man. Like folks be smiling in your face, but then go home and be crying out alone, bro. Like I got people who's told me some stuff, bro. Like their stories are it'll amaze you of the stuff they deal with, man. So just try to show love, man, and be respectful. If you can do those two things, man, I just feel like you can't really mess up with that, man. Um, show love and always walk in respect, bro. So that'll probably be a big cure of a lot of people's mental health. Like, so like, bro, think about it. If you woke up every day and you felt loved and respected, you know what I mean? Like, if you really sit down and just be like, bro, I woke up this morning and I actually feel loved. And there's so many things that go under feeling love. I mean, I feel understood. I felt heard. I felt um,
wanted,
listen
respected.
to, I feel wanted, and then you respect me, bro. I feel the loyalty. Like it's so many things that go under both of those. It's just like you can't really lose in life, bro. You know what I mean? Like it's hard. It's really hard for you to have a downtime, man. Like and I can't forget about this, man. Gratitude, man. Like when you walk in like the humility of gratitude, like there's so many times where I'll be pissed off about stuff, man. Just stuff don't go the way I want it to happen, and whatever. And it's just like I'm trying. I'm doing a better job of intentionally focusing on gratitude, like thinking, and figuring out how can I be more grateful of what I have and what I'm trying to go, what I'm getting to, like what I have right now. Just walking in gratitude, man. So that's a big thing, bro. Like that's a major thing for me, man. Like walking in gratitude a lot more. So, um, like just show love and respect, man, and internalize being more grateful and showing gratitude, man, and just appreciation for stuff, cause like it's it's a lot that goes into those things. So if you can really lock down on those three things, man, like that'll cure a lot of our problems, bro. Like the
Mhm.
whole, I'm telling you, bro, like mental health would be a different conversation. That's what we kind of focused on more, man. But yeah, I'm gonna just cut it off right there. I'm not done, but I'm finished. So
Hey, I understand, brother. Hey, y'all let us know, man. If y'all want to hear part two, like I think we got a lot more to speak on, obviously. But we don't want to hold y'all up too long. We know y'all
yeah,
got
yeah,
things to do with people to see, obviously. But
yeah,
either way, man, like we said, I hope y'all got something out of this, bro. Please, I hope so. Like they can make the world a better place. But
yeah.
that'll do it for another episode of the BeBall Jones podcast, man. We hope y'all enjoyed it. We thank y'all for listening. Please check us out again next week. We might just be doing this again. Might be having the same talk, just in a different direction. So y'all be sure to join us again next week, man. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hop in the comments. Let us know what you think. Let us know if we should have a part two or what direction should we go in next, or something else you would like to hear us speak on. And we always leave in the comments, but it'd be greatly appreciated. But either way, man, please be sure to follow Brian on all social medias at BeBall Jones. That's BeBall Jones on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and on TikTok. So y'all be sure to go give him a follow over there. And then you can follow me on Twitter at NellyH34, at Nelson Askin on IG, and Nelson Askin on Facebook. And be sure to follow the podcast on TikTok as well. The BeBall Jones podcast is on TikTok. Be sure to follow us over there. We got a couple videos up. Go ahead and like those up for us, man. We greatly appreciate it. But with that being said, man, that does it for another episode. We appreciate y'all once again. And without further ado, we out. Shalom.